Welcome back to the show, folks. We're actually out here in the middle of nowhere. This is the Trona Pinnacles. We rode out here from smc-r, where we were out for the Get On ADV Fest, and
also known as the Tapioca Flats.
The Tapioca Flats, the Trona Pickles, all of that stuff. We had no idea what this place was called, and I had to keep asking the folks from Harley Davidson who flew us out here. But while we were out here, I was thinking, this is such a cool experience to come out and ride to all of this that I think a lot of people overthink when they're trying to get into it. A lot of people try to get into ADV riding and they're like, oh, there's so much gear, there's so many bikes, there's so many skills, I can't do it. So I figured today we would give you 5 easy tips to get into ADV riding. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do without spending a ton of cash, and if you just have, a sport touring bike, you can probably do most roads and actually go have some fun off-road. Let's dive in with your first tip for riding off-road. I think that you have some interesting insight into buying your gear.
It's so overwhelming because you're like, there's $80 motocross pants, which I've seen a lot of people wear.
Yeah.
And they're lightweight and they're breathable, but then they don't come with any of the padding.
Right.
So then you'd have to end up spending $100. I really want hip guards. You've got knee and shin guards. You're gonna end up spending just as much if you got a pair of pants that had all of it in it. And every brand makes an air mesh, variety.
Oh yeah.
And I think too, you've got a giant duffel bag. You're a more confident motorcycle traveler, you have more experience, but I try to pack as minimally as possible. I'm talking 1 pair of pants, 2 shirts. I want 1 pant gear. I want 1 jacket.
Right.
Trying to keep it really easy, that way you don't show up. Or today, it's you get down to the motorcycle and you're like, oh shit, forgot this. If it's all compact in one thing, that's ideal as a beginner.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been doing it for a while, you've got it all attached to your brain and whatnot. But I liked just buying the whole getup.
Right.
You don't need the $1,000 suit. These were $200 pants. No. And this jacket is like a mesh jacket. Once again, it's got all of the gear already in it. You're doing it the other way.
Yeah, so the way that I've done it is I went and found each individual piece that suited the kind of kit that I want. I want it to be really movable. I want it to flow a ton of air. I wanted it to be lightweight, but I also wanted it to protect my most important areas. So underneath this jersey, I actually have a Fox rig, and it's got plastic armor all over the place. And I've actually gone down hard in this before, and you kind of just bounce and you do fine. Admittedly, some crashes are worse than others. But then I got these built pants, and I've gone down in these probably 5 to 10 times off-road, and they still, I have a little bit of tearing in the knees. There's no armor in this, so underneath what I have are shin protectors that go over my knees and down into my boots. And then I have these Beefcake Moon boots. These are the Tech 3s, and I have been wearing these so long that they smell very much like aged cheese. Cheese. These are
Thanks
rough.
for that.
And then I wear just a light jersey over everything. But I do also have on my base layer from my tracksuit. I have a really water wicking base layer that when I'm not moving, it builds up a lot of water and sweat. And then the second I get rolling, I feel the degrees drop by 10. It's awesome. And then I wear the MX-9. You have a similar version of the MX-9, but it is truly the MX helmet. So It doesn't have a visor.
When you're trying to do 80 on the highway without a visor, your eyelids start flapping, you lose your sight, which is something I feel like you need when you're riding in the desert on the highway. Had I known that, I think I would have gotten the MX-9.
So the next thing that I wanted to talk about here is the trap of you need the right bike. You really don't. You really don't need the right bike. And whether or not you want to start on something like this Pan America, which we're actually going to film a video probably a little bit later on for your channel talking about how this is a pretty solid beginner ADV bike, believe it or not.
You didn't agree with me, but the people from Harley Davidson did.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to hear the guys from HD be like, yeah, you could totally start on this. And frankly, I started on this.
So did I.
My first time riding a big bike off-road was the Pan America. But whether or not you want to start on a full-size ADV or a little dirt bike, it doesn't really matter because most of the skills are transferable from one to the other. And then once you start going, you're going to figure out what kind of riding you want to do. If it were my money, I would get something in the like 650-ish category, maybe a Tenere 700, KLR 650. Maybe
a Tuareg.
A Tuareg, yeah. We actually, my buddy Ben, who's sitting in the shade up there, I'm very jealous of him, is riding his Tuareg, which he actually rode from Texas to here. So there's so many options that I would just say pick one. You're not going to keep it forever, and you're going to go out, you're going to use it, and then if you want to flip it, you can. Otherwise, keep it in the stable. And don't feel like you need to buy brand new. Most ADV riders will beat up their motorcycles,
Yeah.
but they do take care of them. So it's going to come with some patina, but it's going to work.
I am trying so hard to throttle all the things I want to say because we'll talk about it later. But low key, we've been we've been off-roading baggers.
Yes. We literally have been I've been riding a Road Glide. She's been on a Lowrider ST.
Any bike will do it. You just gotta have the gonads and the confidence, and all bikes want to stay upright.
Yes. Number 3 on the list of things today is, I've seen people fall into this trap here in the desert, which blows my mind. No matter where you are going off-road, you have to have a water bag on you. If you go off-road riding and you do not have a water bag, you're signing up for your own death.
Mine was $30 on Amazon. Cycle gear, they're outrageous.
Yeah.
They're outrageous. The markup on them is ridiculous. You can get a cheap one, Walmart, online, Amazon. You can get a cheaper one. You don't have to spend $100. You need something you can strap to your back that's gonna carry at least 2 liters of water.
I would argue that mine's a 2-liter bag. I would argue this is not enough. Yeah, it really depends on where you're riding off-road and the rate that you drink water. For me, I need a lot to keep me cool and keep me hydrated. So 2 liters is like enough for a couple of hours, and then I'm out. And then I have to call it. I have to stop. Because if you're out riding without water, regardless of whether you're in like 60-degree temperate climates or you're out here in the desert, dehydration is going to catch up to you when you're riding off-road. Do not play around with it. Bring water. Please, please, please. It's going to improve your riding experience so much.
You know what else is in my camel pack? Ibuprofen,
Ooh, yeah.
electrolyte tabs, beef jerky, a snack,
Yes.
a parasol. I mean, like, bring the emergency stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, make sure and throw it all in there.
Yeah.
Get a bag that you can carry more in.
Nothing sucks worse than riding off-road with a headache because you're bobbing around and it feels like your brain is trying to beat the inside of your skull to death.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I've done it before.
Helmets don't help.
Helmets don't help. However, I will say if you're riding off-road, a lot of people take their earplugs out. If you're on an ADV bike, keep your earplugs with you. I've got in this bag, in the tail bag here, a giant thing of earplugs because despite going slower, these things are still loud. You're still dealing with a lot of noise.
A lot of wind in the desert.
And it's really distracting. So make sure that you've got your Camelback, you've got a bag on your motorcycle, you're carrying some useful stuff to keep you rolling when you're out here. Next thing, this is something that I understand not everyone is going to want to do because they want to figure it out themselves. Go take a class. Go get taught how to ride off-road. It is so helpful to have somebody who knows what they're doing watch you ride off-road and tell you how to fix it. I've had so many aha moments so fast riding with the folks from smc-r and with the folks from Ride ADV. They have transformed I'm so confident that even I saw some sand washes coming in here. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to try them. Let's go through the sand and see what happens.
And as a beginner, hell yeah, go take a class.
Yeah.
That's gonna help your experience along the way and quell your anxieties, which I think is huge.
And yeah, sometimes they can be a little bit spendy, but I'm telling you, it's worth it.
Man, if I was president,
everybody would get in Pan America and learn how to ride off-road.
Yeah.
We'd
be a better country for it.
Whitney 2024.
Please.
Everybody write that in. No, please don't. We're gonna have a disaster politically, but I don't want to get into that. That's a whole other can of worms. That's something for your channel maybe. But again, there are so many little skills that you can learn, like counterweighting, on how to just steer at slow speeds, how to move on the motorcycle, how to manage your speed and your throttle, how to change gears while standing up. There's so much that a actual instructor can teach you how to do that it's just going to teleport you to the next level, and you're going to have more fun when you go off-road.
Oh,
yeah. We're here in literally like a crater of monoliths.
Brother. Oh no, we're losing the shade up there.
Yeah, no, we got to get moving. But that does bring me to the last part. When you're going off-road, ride with a buddy, find some friends. That's one of the best things about coming to events like the Get On ADV Fest. You see so many people out here who are just out to goof around and ride off-road. And like I ended up riding with Ari Henning and Brandon Wise from Revzilla when I was up in South Dakota. I've ridden with a bunch of cool folks. Here we've got Dork on the road, we've got Ian from Big Rock Moto. All sorts of people are out at these events. Go make friends. The ADV community is
They're
awesome.
So nice. Everybody out here at this event is so nice. I mean, passion brings us all together. So if you're like, hey, are you guys gonna go do a beginner ride, or what are you guys gonna go do? And I hear, that's another thing. There's a lot of ADV people who just wanna have fun and be chill.
Yeah.
They're not out on motocross bikes. They're not out trying to tear it up. They wanna have fun. They wanna come back in one piece. They want their bike to be, you know.
Yeah, and sure, you might get on a ride and you'll be like, oh, I kind of wish we were doing this, that, or the other thing. Well, just go enjoy the ride, have some beers, and then come back the next day. I mean, there's so much opportunity for having fun with friends out when you're riding ADV. I think it's even better out here because, you know, you have some people go down, you can help them get their bike up, you can bring their spirits back up. If you're struggling and you're out by yourself, you get in your head. If you're struggling and you're out with friends, they'll help buoy you up a little bit.
For sure.
It's so helpful to be out here riding with the community. And it is a huge and pretty welcoming community.
100%. There is no it's the opposite of a track day.
Oh my God, yes.
That's not every track. There's a lot of nice, I'm not gonna make sweeping generalizations, but there's a percentage of track day riders who are just trying to whip their, sorry Jake, big dicks out. It's so hard for me to stop. I'm trying, guys. Okay, this is me making an effort. But ADV, it's the complete opposite. There's older people who are just starting, who are at the beginner's side of the spectrum. There are really advanced people who want to help you. It's a very awesome community to kind of step in.
Yeah, and really, when it comes to ADV, don't sit and hee and haw. Just dive in. Just dive in and have some fun. Even if you're just goofing around on a little dirt road or you're riding up a mountainside or whatever, just go do it. I have had more fun riding adventure than I have on a racetrack, than I have on the street, than I have gone cross country. ADV riding has been the best motorcycling I've ever done in my life.
Because you can go crazy, find a sand pit, get nutty.
Mm-hmm.
You can do hooligan stuff. We've seen people doing hooligan stuff all weekend. Or you can take it chill.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like today we're doing highway, we're doing this, we're going back, you know, we're gonna go check out a ghost town.
Yeah.
Adventure stuff.
Yeah.
It's in the name.
And that's I think it's like encapsulates that just that spirit that motorcycling wants to bring, that sort of like freedom aspect that the Harley guys trend themselves on. ADV is the best. And with that, guys, we're gonna wrap this one up. We're gonna get moving because it is pretty dang toasty out here.
It is hot. Shocking, right? Weird. Being in the desert and you're like,
in the
oh,
desert
it's hot out here.
So we're gonna call it, we're gonna hit the road, and let me know down below what you guys think. If you've got any tips for the prospective ADV rider out there. I just want to see more people get out and ride ADV.
And if you're scared or if you're anxious, comment down below too. I love helping people get out of their heads, you know, a little bit. Tell us what freaks you out. Ask us literally anything, please. All we want is more people out here being safe, having fun, coming back in one piece, and living the life that they're meant to.
And on that happy note, we'll catch you in the next one. See you later.